Hi, I'm Ellie, and this is your weekly theatre news recap, the show where I have too much theatre news. I skipped a week because I was working on the big quiz video. Go watch that video if you haven't. And now I just have too much news. I have way too much news, and I've got to give you that news so you can stay up to date with UK theatre. And if you want to stay up to date with UK theatre, make sure you hit like and subscribe because they do these every single weekish. But let's dive in, starting where we always do with our casting news. There may be a couple of casting news moments this week where I'll just place the cast members on screen, mainly because I have like 9 pages of news to go through. We need to take the moments where we can take a breather. Let's start with the years, where they've announced one new cast member joining the production. So the now Olivier-nominated Romola Gary will be performing in her last show on the 8th of March, and taking over her role will be Tuppence Middleton, who you may remember from shows like Motive and the Queue. She'll be joining this play from Monday the 10th of March, so starting from next week. This is very exciting. If you haven't caught the years yet, it is fantastic. It's phenomenal theatre. I think it's now one of the most nominated new plays at the Olivier Awards, so you know, it's got that seal of approval, as well as mine. Next up, we have Fegula. This will be going to London's Marylebone Theatre from Wednesday the 30th of April to Saturday the 31st of May, and the cast are as follows. Starring in this play will be Clan Galkoff, Ben Kaplan, Clara Francis, Andrew Paul, and Yiftach Mizrahi. Once again, that is the Marylebone Theatre from Wednesday the 30th of April to Saturday the 31st of May if you want to catch this play. Another play you can catch is Witness for the Prosecution. The smash hit adaptation of Agatha Christie's Witness for the Prosecution is continuing at London's County Hall and has actually extended to the 26th of April 2026 if you want some more time to go and see it. And a new cast will be joining from the 18th of March. And they are Harry Chandler, Charlotte Beaumont, Jonathan Firth, Nigel Hastings, Jeffrey Kissoon, and David Burrell. So if you want to catch that new cast, you can head over to London County Hall to catch Witness for the Prosecution. I keep missing Witness for the Prosecution. I can't believe I haven't seen it yet. I feel like a bad theatre fan for saying I haven't seen it yet, so maybe this cast in this year is the time. Heading over to London now, we have the cast announced for The Mad Ones. This is a musical that's transferring from Birmingham and going to the other palace, specifically their studio space. And it's got a great cast. Starring in this production will be Courtney Stapleton as Kelly, Dora G as Sam, Jacob Fowler as Adam, and Thea Jo Wolfe as Beverly, alongside Eliza Bowden, who will be a swing on this production. I've heard a lot of great things about The Mad Ones. I have some friends who saw it over in Birmingham. I'm hoping to catch it. Now it's coming to London. Let's stick to the same theatre because we have a new cast who have joined the Lightning Thief. They have already started. So, sticking with the show, first of all, Morgan Gregory, who has been the understudy for Percy Jackson, will be stepping up to play the lead role in the musical. And fellow cast members staying from the first cast are Paisley Billings as Sally Jackson, Philip Catchpole, and Alex Waxman, who both continue in the ensemble. And new cast members are Lizzie Rose Eason Kelly as Annabeth, Angus Benstead as Grover, Jazz Evans as Mr. Brunner, Joshua Lay as Mr. D, Kennedy Small as Carice, Xander Pang as Luke, and Owen Lloyd, who is joining the ensemble along with Rachel Moran. So if you want to catch The Lightning Thief, it continues until August at the other palace. We also got casting for the Watermill Theatre's production of Piaf. Now we're going to cover the Watermill again a little bit later, but let's speak about this casting news. So alongside the previously announced Audrey Besson will be John Tretchard, Sam Pay, Sinya Larson, Hazel Monaghan, Oliver Nazareth Aston, Jovan Van D. Flyert, Mark Seratosa, Tarzina Nasur, and Kit Kenneth. This production will be playing at the Watermill Theatre from Friday the 4th of April to Saturday the 17th of May. Continuing on, moving on, we have to keep moving. I've got way too much news. We have The Midnight Bell. This is going on a UK tour. It is a New Adventures production headed up by Matthew Bourne, and this is going on a 17-week countrywide tour, including many new venues for this production. This will be opening at the Everyman Theatre in Cheltenham on the 15th of May, and will star Cordelia Braithwaite, Rhys Cowston, Glenn Graham, Daisy May Kemp, Hannah Bremner, Michaela Measer, Andy Monaghan, Liam Mower, Dominic North, Bryony Pennington, Edwin Ray, Danny Rubens, Ashley Shaw, and Alan Vincent. And if saying those names in quick succession wasn't enough, I've now got to list off the tour stops, as it's going to Cheltenham, Bath, Cornwall, York, Southwells in London, Leicester, Salford, Newcastle, Northampton, Plymouth, Brighton, Nottingham, Norwich, Liverpool, Sheffield, and Bradford. So if you live anywhere near there and you want to catch a lovely Matthew Bourne dance production, you can catch the Midnight Bell. So as that, we have Ghosts. Ghosts is going to the Lyric Hammersmith Theatre from the 10th of April to the 10th of May, and starring in this production will be Patricia Allison, Callum Scott Howes, Victoria Smurfit, Rashan Stone, and Dacre Walmsley. Next up, heading up to the RSC, we have Hamlet Hail to the Thief, which will be having a production in Manchester and at the Royal Shakespeare Theatre in Stratford-upon-Avon. Starring in this production will be Samuel Blenkin as Hamlet, Amy Tradea as Ophelia, Paul Hilton as Claudius, Claudia Harrison as Gertrude, Annabelle Baldwin as Horatio, James Clooney as Rosencrantz, alongside Brandon Grace, Felipe Pacheco, Tom Peters, Ramaya Weaver, Daniel Davids, Kieran Garland, and Marianella Phillips. If you'd like to catch this production, it is going to the Factory International in Manchester from the 27th of April to the 18th of May. And if Stratford-upon-Avon is a little bit closer to you, you can catch it at the Royal Shakespeare Theatre in Stratford-upon-Avon from the 4th of June to the 28th of June 2025. And finally, in casting news this week, we made it. We have the new cast for Cry of Man. Cry of Man has been closed for renovations for a little bit, but we'll be returning to the Arts Theatre for a short period in between the renovations on the Arts Theatre, from the 12th of March to the 31st of August, and starring this time will be Jason Brock as the Romantic, Benji Lord as the Joker, David Booth as the Pub Boar, Paul MacArthur as the Poet, Oliver Jacobson as Barman, Rob Godfrey as the Beast, Ethan Gwillem Jones as Maestro, George Napper as the Handyman, and Bradley Walwyn as the Hardman. We also have the ensemble, who will be in the description down below. I will once again say, really disappointing to still see a lack of diversity in the cast in Cry of Man, and I will keep saying it until it stops being a problem. Nonetheless, if you want to catch Cry of Man, once again, that is from the 12th of March to the 31st of August, back at the Arts Theatre. Now let's move on to concerts and events. Let's start with my beloved Mickey Joe Theatre Live. It's back again for 2025, and we have 3 new dates. The 16th of March, the 20th of April, and the 18th of May at 7:30 p.m, still at its home at the Phoenix Arts Club, right in the heart of the West End. Yes, I will be back. I'll be back. You'll be able to find me there, and as well as that, we have our special guests announced for the 16th of March show. And, you know, Mickey clearly realised that that's the show that lands right in the middle of my birthday week, and said we need to treat Ellie to just having the most amount of cool trans icons that we can have. Because starring in the March show will be Claudia Kariuki and Mason Alexander Park, 2 non-binary icons. Mickey said happy birthday to me. These 2 performers will join Mickey alongside guest composer for this show, Jordan Lee Smith. And guests for April and May will be announced in due course, so stay tuned and go and book your tickets. All the coolest people will be there, including me. As well as that, we got some announcements for the Westway sessions. These are happening at the Vaudeville Theatre on Monday nights. The first is Lee Mead, who is bringing his brand new show, The Best of Me, to the Vaudeville Theatre on Monday the 10th of March. And the second will be Cassidy Jansen, who will be performing there on Monday the 7th of April. The season will then continue with Kerry Ellis performing on Monday the 21st of April, and Amy Atkinson performing on Monday the 23rd of June. So if you want to catch any of these performers performing at the Vaudeville Theatre, You can catch them then. Another concert series announced since the last weekly news recap is West End Unscripted. This is a new celebrity Q&A series which will be launching at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane. The first of these will be hosted by Sean Foley on Sunday the 23rd of March and will star Nick Mohammed, Phil Dunster, Sarah Hadland and Andy Nyman. So if you want to catch these celebrities, if you want to see the Q&A, you can head over to the Theatre Royal Drury Lane later this month. Another event announced was West End Free Market, which is coming back this year for its 5th year. This will once again be happening at St Paul's Church in Covent Garden on Saturday the 17th of May from 10 AM to 2 PM, and is a special event where you can get your hands on some special show merchandise, special limited edition collectibles, theatrical memorabilia, signed posters, and special items that are up for auction. So if you want to grab your hand on some very exclusive items, you can head over to the West End Flea Market. As well as that, Marisha Wallace has announced her special guest at her show at the Adelphi Theatre next week on Tuesday the 11th of March. That's my birthday. And clearly it wasn't enough that Marisha Wallace would be reunited with the Adelphi Theatre where she once starred in Waitress, because she needed to bring her other waitresses in there with her, as both Lucy Jones and Laura Baldwin, who starred alongside Marisha Wallace in Waitress, will be joining as special guests for this concert. So if you want to catch this special reunion, you can head over to Marisha Wallace's concert on the 11th of March. Finally, in concerts and events, we have Representation. Representation has been a series of concerts that have been performed at various different venues in London, namely the Phoenix Arts Club, and will be getting a big showcase in the West End, performing at the Lyric Theatre on Monday the 28th of April 2025. This concert will be hosted by Nina Wadia and will star an abundance of amazing Asian talent, including Joanna Ampil, Desmonda Caffabel, Luca Chadwick Patel, and loads more performers who you can see on screen right now. So if you want to catch an amazing evening of Asian talent, you can catch it at the Lyric Theatre on Monday the 20th of April 2025. Let's move on to miscellaneous news this week, where we have a couple of extensions to talk about. Obviously, we've already mentioned Witness for the Prosecution, which is extended, but we also have a short extension for Comedy About Spies, which is extended into the 5th of September 2025 at the Noel Coward Theatre, and the legendary Les Mis, currently in its 40th anniversary year, has extended to the 20th of March 2026. As well as that, we are getting a pro shot of the West End anniversary concert of Pippin. This was one of the best concert performances I saw last year. It starred the amazing Alex Newell, Zizi Strallen, Cedric Neal, so many talented West End performers, and if you missed out on it or want to relive it, you can actually watch it on Broadway HD, where they'll be streaming the world premiere of this concert from Thursday the 13th of March. I know I want to relive it, and I hope you do too. That is it for miscellaneous news. Now, buckle yourselves in, because you may be thinking, oh Ellie, that doesn't seem like too much news. Get ready. We are on page 5 of news, and there's 9 pages. Let's start at the Watermill Theatre. I told you we return because they have announced their season. The theatre in Newbury has got a very exciting season. Firstly is their summer musical, where they will be doing a new version of Jesus Christ Superstar, which will run from the 24th of June to the 21st of September. This will be directed by Paul Hart, and seemingly, like some other productions at the Watermill in its past, will feature some moments in the theatre and also span outside as well. It looks to be a very exciting revival, and definitely is something that I am planning a revisit to the Watermill for. As well as that, we are getting a new version of Charlie's Aunt. This is going to be a new adaptation by the legendary Rob Madge, creator of My Sons Are Queer. This will be playing at the Watermill from Friday the 3rd of October to Saturday the 15th of November. And ending out 2025 will be a new production of The Little Mermaid. This will be the festive production for the Watermill in a version of the classic Hans Christian Andersen tale by Lara Barbier. This will play at the Watermill Theatre from Wednesday the 26th of November to Sunday the 4th of January 2026. We also have our first announcement for the National Theatre. Obviously, we are having a change in hands of the artistic director of the National Theatre, and the first show to be announced by new artistic director Inhu Rabazingham is a return for Ballet Shoes. The now Olivier-nominated production of Ballet Shoes will be returning this Christmas for another limited festive season. I heard so many things about this production, so many wonderful things, so many friends went and said, Ellie, you need to go, but told me too late, so I missed it. So I'm really, really glad that it will be coming back this year. And if you also missed it or want to catch it again, it is heading over to the National Theatre this Christmas. Next up, let's speak about the UK tour of Midsummer Murders. Based on the book by Caroline Graham, The Killings at Badger's Drift will be going on a UK tour starting at Richmond on the 24th of October 2025 and will tour the UK. This production will be going to Malvern, Chester, Eastbourne, Sheffield, Cornwall, Guildford, Brighton, Blackpool, Glasgow, Nottingham, Birmingham, Norwich, Derby and Leicester. So if you live anywhere near there and you want to catch this book on stage, you can catch it then, with its tour going all the way till April 2026. And keeping on these similar themes, we also have an adaptation of Death Comes to Pemberley, which will be going on a UK tour starting in May. This is P.D. James's sequel to Pride and Prejudice and will star an exciting cast led by EastEnders star James Bye, who will take on the role of Mr. Darcy. We also have supporting cast members who I know have been announced, but I haven't written them down, so you can find them on screen right now. Look at those cool names, wow. This tour will be starting at the Mill at Sonning from the 1st of May to the 28th of June, and then will tour to Windsor, Cardiff, Bath, Guildford, Bromley, Wickham, Brighton and Richmond, touring from May to September. So if you want to catch this adaptation, you can catch that then. Next up, we have to speak about a fringe show that is making a London transfer, and this is Pop-Off Michelangelo. This queer exploration of Michelangelo will be having a limited 5-week run at the Underbelly Boulevard, Soho, following its season at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival last year. This will be a revitalised production directed by Joe McNeice and will open on the 23rd of May, with previews starting from the 17th of May and running until the 22nd of June, with a full cast and creative team to be announced in due course. So if you want to catch Michelangelo, but a little bit that, you can catch that then. Next up, we got more tours. There's more tours. Are you excited? We got more tours. First tour to talk about is Dear England. Dear England, following its National Theatre return and its 4-week season at the Lowry Theatre in Salford, Dear England is going to embark on a UK-wide tour. But where is it going, Ellie? I'm glad you asked, because it will be going to Plymouth Theatre Royal from the 15th of September, and then we'll be going to Nottingham, Canterbury, Sheffield, Leeds, Newcastle, Chichester, and then in 2026 it'll be going to Southampton, Milton Keynes, Oxford, Norwich, Woking, Bradford, Wimbledon, Liverpool and Birmingham. I'm really glad that this is touring the UK. It's a phenomenal show, a phenomenal production. Even as someone who doesn't really love football or doesn't really get into football, I found a lot to enjoy about it. I can't wait to see the changes they've made. It's returning to the National Theatre very, very soon. And it's great that we have so many chances to catch it once more. Next up, another UK tour, we have Mamma Mia, which has announced its new UK tour dates. Obviously, previously announced, we had Southampton, Bristol, Oxford and Edinburgh, where it'll be running in 2025. But it has now announced 2026 dates, where it'll be going to Swansea, Aberdeen, Newcastle, Manchester and the Curve, Leicester. So if you are around the UK, can't quite get to London, and any of those tour stops are a little bit closer to you, you can catch Mamma Mia there. And you know what? Let's round out the UK tour talk with the announcement of Priscilla. Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, will be returning for a new UK tour early next year. This UK and Ireland tour will be starting at the Palace Theatre in Manchester on the 16th of February 2026, and then will be touring through to July 2026, with international dates to follow. The UK tour dates for this show will obviously, as I just mentioned, is starting at the Palace Theatre in Manchester, and then it will move on to Glasgow, Liverpool, Southampton, Birmingham, Norwich, Newcastle, Edinburgh, Cardiff, Nottingham, Aylesbury, Woking, Canterbury, Belfast, Dublin, Brighton, Leicester, Bradford, and Cornwall. Now, I've got to say, whenever they announce a new version of Priscilla, I do get a little bit worried, because Priscilla has a history of not authentically casting its trans role correctly. And so I'm going to say this right now. I'm starting this petition. Please, bring back the 3 leads from Priscilla the Party. The thing it got so right was its casting. I mean, Dakota Starr as Bernadette was fantastic, and it was so lovely to see this role finally authentically cast with a trans performer in the role. And obviously, Rhys Kerridge, Owain Williams, they were so fantastic in those 3 roles. I think it would be a crime if we don't see them come back. They deserve to do a full run if they are wanting to go on the road. As long as the casting does manage to be authentic, then I'm very, very happy to see Priscilla come back once more. I'm very excited to catch the tour bus wherever I can catch it. I don't know, it's not really coming that close to me. I guess I gotta travel. Guess I'm going to Norwich, maybe? That's quite close to me. I don't know, I'll find a place. Next, let's head over to the Curve Leicester, where they have announced their Christmas production this year, which will be a big revival of The Sound of Music. You all know The Sound of Music, we all love The Sound of Music, and The Sound of Music will run at the Curve Leicester from the 22nd of November 2025 to the 11th of January 2026, with further casting and news to be announced soon. The Curve Leicester constantly put out very exciting new work. Obviously, in previous years, they've had The Wizard of Oz, they've had Evita, and I have a lot of faith in their version of Sound of Music. I think it's going to be very, very good, and hopefully, I'll be able to head over to Leicester to see it. Trucking along, we've had so many news stories. I'm almost there, I promise. Next up, we have Oscar at the Crown. This is a smash hit musical that has had productions in New York and has previously tried itself at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and will be transferring to London, specifically at a bespoke venue located on Tottenham Court Road. This adaptation exploring the works of Oscar Wilde, mixed with a lot of queer themes, reality TV, and glitterballs. And this will be a reworked production with new music and after parties, allowing the party to continue on through the night. This production will be opening on the 19th of May 2025, with tickets on sale next week. Next, let's head up to York. We're almost there, I promise, where the York Theatre Royal has announced Military Wives, a new musical written by Debbie Izzet, who has previously worked on I Should Be So Lucky and Nativity the Musical. This will be opening at the York Theatre Royal on the 16th of September, with previews starting on the 10th of September, and follows the story of a group of women who form a choir while their partners are deployed, based on the true story of the Military Wives Choir and the 2019 film. This will be running until the 27th of September 2025, so if you live near York, you can go to the York Theatre Royal to catch it. Lovely theatre, that one. Alright, we're in the endgame now. We have 3 more productions to speak about, and I honestly don't know which one is like the front runner for the biggest news story. All of these are huge stories. Firstly, we finally got details about the Hunger Games stage adaptation. Announced last year to be happening in autumn last year, the production kind of went a little bit quiet on us, but they have officially announced an opening for autumn 2025 in a brand new Troubadour Theatre. The adaptation of The Hunger Games will be opening on Monday the 20th of October 2025 at the new Troubadour Canary Wharf Theatre, a brand new 1,200 seat venue right in the heart of Canary Wharf. This version of The Hunger Games is being adapted from the first book specifically by Conor McPherson, and will be directed by Matthew Dunster. As well as that, we've got some peeks into the rehearsal process for this production, and a little look at the seating plan, seeing that this will be a semi-immersive production seating you in the round, and similar to another show that was at a Troubadour venue, each seating section is themed. Like Newsies before it, that themed all the sections around different places in New York, these sections are all based on different districts, ranging from District 1 all the way to District 11, interestingly leaving out District 12. However, there may be a different area of the theatre or something where we will see District 12 come into full view. This is really exciting. It looks really cool, really interesting, and hopefully it'll be a very strong adaptation. Next up, the Bridge Theatre has announced 2 shows. The first is a return for one of the Bridge's biggest hits, the immersive version of A Midsummer Night's Dream, which will be returning this summer from the 31st of May to the 23rd of August 2025. We also have the initial casting announced, who you can see on screen right now. Wow, so many cool names. As well as that, we got the announcement of what's going into that theatre over Christmas, and this is extremely exciting, as we are getting a brand new staging of Sondheim and Lepine's amazing classic Into the Woods, a musical that we haven't seen in London since 2016. This version of Into the Woods will start previews on the 2nd of December, and will have a 20-week run, finishing on the 18th of April 2026. This is so exciting. I've been waiting for a big revival of either Sweeney Todd or Into the Woods, 2 of my favourite Sondheim shows. I'm very glad to see it. And I think The Bridge is going to be a great space for this show. And finally, in news this week, we've made it to the other end. We have The Producers, where at their final performance at the Mallalieu Chocolate Factory, they announced a West End transfer. The Producers will be going to the Garrick Theatre, with previews from the 30th of August, and an opening night set for the 15th of September, where it will run until the 21st of February 2026. Returning from the Mallalieu Chocolate Factory run will be Andy Nyman as Max Bialystock, Mark Antolin as Leo Bloom, Trevor Ashley as Roger Dubois, Raj Ghatak as Carmen, Harry Morrison as Franz Liebekind, and Joanna Woodward as Ula. What is also very funny about this specific choice of theatre for The Producers is that this is the theatre where a couple of years ago, Young Frankenstein played, another Mel Brooks-based musical. I'm very glad this is transferring because I missed it at the Mallalieu. I tried many times to get the rush and I failed, but now I'll be able to catch it in the West End, and so will you. But we've done it. That is all of your theatre news for this week. What are you most looking forward to? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me, it helps out the channel. Here's some links to some other videos on screen right now, and a link to my Instagram if you'd like to drop me a follow over there. There's some other social links and a merch store in the description down below. But that's it for me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.